Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm going to start this podcast out a little differently. I have a list of all the countries that are listening to this podcast that I believe are listening, and I have the crime stats for each one of them. But before I get to that, I just want to tell you, if you agree with me or disagree with the following information, please go to my website, www.truthchat.fun. Leave a comment or a voicemail, and I will get back to you. Or you can go to my email, which is joeorianipodcast@yahoo.com. And I'll get back to you there. Or OrianiJoe3 on Twitter. Now, the ending is going to be a little different because when I'm done reading these in no particular order, I may comment on one thing or two things or comment at the end, depending on how I feel. But please be aware, an AI helped me write this. Don't blame me. Okay. So let's see if we can get this all set up. Let me put it on pause. Okay, hello and welcome to truthchat.fun. I am your host, Joe Oriani, and today we're going to explore the pressing issues affecting our communities in the United States and other countries. I think there's 5 of them in no particular order. Today we're going to take a closer look at crime and its impact on our society. Okay, over the past few years, we had a surge in violent crimes. People walking down the street just getting shot. A basketball goes into the wrong yard, they get shot. From gun violence to hate crimes and domestic abuse, these incidents have left many feeling anxious and unsafe, wondering what can be done to curb the violence in your neighborhoods. I'm not too sure more policemen, but I will comment as we go through each of these. While some may argue the solution is apply more law enforcement, and tougher punishments, others point to the root cause of crime such as poverty, addiction, and mental illness. So what can we do to make our community safer and just for all? Join me as we delve into the complex issue of crime. Now, as I told you, these are not in any particular order to insult any country. So the first country I'm going to deal with is going to be Finland. I do have listeners in Finland. Now, Finland is generally considered a safe country with low crime rates compared to many other countries. Good thing. And welcome to NATO Finland. The most common types of crimes in Finland are property crimes such as theft and burglary, as well as traffic-related offenses. Wow. Violent crimes is relatively rare, but it does occur, particularly in the urban areas. In recent years, Finland has also seen an increase in cybercrime, particularly in the form of online fraud and hacking. The Finnish government has taken steps to address this issue by increasing funding for cybersecurity and by working with international partners to combat cyber threats. Overall, Finland has a well-founded justice system and a strong focus on social welfare, which has helped maintain low levels of crime and ensure that those who do commit the crimes are held accountable. I think that's very commendable. You do a crime, you should do the time. Yeah, you can't do the time, don't do the crime. I think Finland has the right idea. Be fair, be just, be quick, but punish. Oh. Next one is Germany. All right. Crime in Germany is generally low compared to many other countries. The most common types of crime in Germany are poverty crimes such as theft, burglary. Violent crimes such as homicide and assaults are relatively rare, although there has been an increase in the number of reported cases in recent years. Germany is a well-developed legal system and law enforcement agencies which work to prevent and prosecute crimes. The police are generally respected by the public and seen as effective in their duties. There's also some specific types of crimes that have been the cause of concern in recent years, such as cybercrime, which everybody has, terrorism, and hate crimes. The government law enforcement agencies are taking measures to address those issues and ensure public safety. Terrorism is the thing that we all have to worry about. I don't know why we just all can't get along. People just sit there and they say, you don't follow the Quran, you don't do this, you don't do that. I'm stuck, please. Don't preach religion. You're not going to practice it, don't preach it. So anyway, it seems like everybody has cybercrimes in Germany. Sounds pretty safe too. Oh, this one will go low. The United States experienced a range of crimes, including violent crimes such as homicide, assault, and rape, as well as property crimes like theft and burglary. Crime rates have fluctuated over time with significant increase in the 1970s and the 80s, followed by a gradually decline in the 1900s, 1990s, and the 2000s. However, some areas continue to experience a high rate of crime, particularly in urban areas and communities with high levels of poverty and equity. The U.S. criminal justice law enforcement agencies, courts, and correctional facilities is often the topic of debate and controversy. Efforts to address crime include community-based initiatives, crime prevention programs, and increased law enforcement and incarceration measures. Okay, let me stop right here because it's not about equity, where they come from. It's about the DAs and the judges let people out if they do a crime. They come out after a day and do the same crime. They just don't punish them for whatever reason. The new mayor coming into Chicago with all the 100 kids destroying everything said, "Oh, don't demonize them." Yet the other day, the outgoing mayor of Chicago said we should prosecute more and put them in jail. Where was she all them years? Probably would have got reelected if she did that. That's the same thing in a lot of states, no matter where you are, California, Illinois, New York. As much as I hate to say this, because I didn't want to get too political, most of them are Democratic states. So we can see what we can do. It's just absolutely crazy. And Chicago has a lot of gun violence. They kill each other. But nobody talks about that. They don't talk black on black killings. I don't know why not. And poor kids out there. They need to let them grow up and be adults and have a life. I don't know what they could possibly do. I blame the parents. Single family mothers or single family fathers is not a wholesome way to grow up. Some of the parents are doing drugs, drinking, abuse the kids, and don't care what the hell they're doing. So, anyway, the United States has a lot of issues with crime, lots of issues. And it's not safe in here. You can't walk down the street at night in New York anymore. So, anyway, I digress. Let's go to the Netherlands. And here's a quick summary of the crime in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has a relatively low crime rate compared to many other countries. The most common types of crimes are property crimes such as theft, burglary, followed by traffic violations and drug-related offenses. I thought they had free drugs or something like that. I must be wrong. Anyway, violent crime is relatively rare, but it does occur. The Dutch government takes a proactive approach to crime prevention, focusing on community policing, social intervention, and rehab programs. The police force is well trained and well equipped, and the justice system is generally regarded as fair and efficient. However, there have been concerns about rising level of organized crime. We got rid of them, you can have them, including drug trafficking and human trafficking, and the government has taken steps to address the issues in recent years. One of the things I want to say that a lot of the crime here in the United States, I'm sure in other countries, has a lot to do with mental health. I know years ago they used to have asylums, they put people in, but they didn't give them any treatments. Now that things are different, they should have some more of them and actually do that. Yeah, Ukraine, United Kingdom. Crime in the UK varies across different regions and types of crime, but overall the country has seen a decline in crime rates in recent years. The most common type of crime in Ukraine includes theft, burglary, violence against the person. I think that's assault, is what we call it here. Ukraine has a well-established criminal system that includes police, courts, and prisons. and the government invests significant resources into crime prevention and law enforcement. However, there's still concerns for certain types of crimes, such as knife crime and cybercrime, and the impact of austerity measures on policing and crime rate. I don't know if they have any, then maybe somebody could tell me if they have any gun problems over there. I heard you're not allowed to have a gun, the police don't even have guns. And I think they should. Yeah, this one's a good one. Nigeria has a high level of crime with a range of criminal activities such as fraud, kidnapping, robbery, and violent crimes. The country is plagued by both organized crime and street-level crime, which can be attributed to the factors such as poverty, unemployment, corruption, and poor governance. In recent years, Nigeria has experienced a rise in kidnapping for ransom, particularly in the northern part of the country. The Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region of Nigeria has led to significant violence and displacement of communities. Further, there's a high level of cybercrime in Nigeria, with scammers targeting victims both locally and internationally. In addition, there are reports of police brutality and extrajudicial killings by security forces. I know about that, Prince, in Nigeria. Give me money. Overall crime is a major issue in Nigeria, and the government continues to work towards improving security and reducing crime rates in the country. Oh man, I think maybe we should police ourselves. The people here in the United States don't trust the police. We don't respect them anymore. When I was a kid, if you did anything or said anything back to a policeman, you get your ass beat. Kept us pretty quiet. Oh, look at here, we have India. All right. Crime in India is a significant issue with high rates of both violent and non-violent crimes. The country faces a major range of criminal activities, including murder, theft, fraud, cybercrime, human trafficking, and terrorism. According to the latest data available from the National Crime Records Bureau, in 2019, there were over 4.2 million reported crimes in India. Of these, 32,000 were cases of murder, and over 3,000 cases related to theft. It also reported that 32,000 cases of rape and over 1.5 million cases of assault on women in 2019. While the Indian government and law enforcement agencies are taking measures to combat crime, such as increasing policing presence and straightening the laws, crime rates in the country remain high, and there's still a long way to go to addressing that issue. I would agree with that. That's not worse than the United States. And finally, the people who are in my prayers, Taiwan. As for the knowledge of the cutoffs in 2001, Taiwan is generally considered a safe country with relatively low crime rates compared to many other countries. According to Taiwan's Minister of Interior, the crime rate has been decreasing steadily in recent years. Taiwan is consistently ranked among the safest communities in the world. However, like any other country, Taiwan does have some crime. The most common types of crime in Taiwan include theft, fraud, and drug offenses. Violent crimes is relatively rare, although there has been occasional incidents of gang violence and other types of crime. Taiwan has well-funded, well-trained police force is generally effective in preventing and investigating the crime. The country also has a strong emphasis on community policing, which encourages police officers to build relationships with local communities and work closely with the residents to prevent crime. Overall, while crime does occur in Taiwan, it's generally considered to be a safe and secure country. That's all the countries I have that I know that listen to me. If there's any more, I'm sorry if I missed you, but it's not showing up anywhere else. Now, first of all, the people of Taiwan, instead of fighting each other and having crime and gangs, I would think these gangs would start getting ready for the Chinese invasion. It's going to happen probably right around July. It won't be long. You're going to need to fight them door to door. India, you have a lot of work to do. But sometimes I just blame the government because they don't do anything, and if they're corrupt, it's really gonna be awful. Awful. Nigeria, same thing. The government ain't doing their job, you're gonna live in pure unadulterated hell. UK, that's not too bad. But again, crime, you know what? Crime doesn't just affect the victim. Crime affects every one of us. It rolls downhill. These people commit crimes, think they can get away with it, and they wind up hurting other people. Oh, and the Netherlands, kind of like that place. A few little issues with drug trafficking and human trafficking, but the government's taking place to work on it, and that's a good thing. United States. I don't see government working on it, it says here, but yeah, we lost a video from that. Anyway, United States, we got a lot of crimes, we got a lot of problems. We got DAs who don't want to prosecute people, just let them walk free, give them a little slap on the wrist. They won't even prosecute the president's son, who should be in jail many times over. In Germany, most of the things is good, except I worry about the terrorism, but I think everybody does that. Finland, it sounds like it's not a bad place to live, and people are held accountable when they do commit a crime. I wish the same could be said for here, because it's not the same. Okay, so that's the crime rates from the countries that I know listen to my podcast. Anybody has any feedback, again, I'd appreciate it. Or if you know somebody who wants to be interviewed who has more in-depth information on these particular subjects, that'd be appreciated too. We could do it a Zoom call, not a big deal, not these days. Anyway, that's enough of that. I just want to remind you, I think that most crime victims have a mental illness, either from drugs, depression, who knows? I hate being around depressed people. Freaks me out. Because I take medication for being depressed, but I know what hitting bottom is. But be good to your friends, be good to your neighbors, and watch out for each other. And everybody around the world can live a lot better way. You don't want to hear the war sirens coming. You don't want to hear the guns going in the streets. You don't want to see people just shooting each other like they do here. Walk into school, kill 3 little kids. No reason why, they can tell us. So anyway, all I got to say is just remember, and this is a hell of a place to put this, if you are not laughing, you are not living. Okay, everybody, have a good day, and hopefully I hear from some people. Thanks.
You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. I just wanna be there when you're lonely and you scared, finding yourself in a place that is nowhere, and everything piling up ready to hit the fan, and the outcome's about to be real bad. Look, I know how it feels. I got a lot of questions, and to a lot of them I still haven't found the answers. They say read between the lines, I even read it backwards. Then you're still confused and emotions are massive, but you figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. It ain't never gon' stop. This is how the journey goes. It's just gonna be another survival kit. I got some knowledge, I'm just giving you a bit. Something you can listen to even if you're lit. A message in the bottle, well, you this figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You figure it out as you go. There gon' be a lot of ups and downs on the road. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes. You gon' have to swerve to avoid all the holes.